When did your love of boxing first begin?
The love of boxing for me began actually my first day in the boxing gym when I was 14 years old, Brownsville, Brooklyn. Got picked on in school. Decided I wanted to pick up a trade where I can defend myself. And once I came to the gym for the very first time, it was like love at first sight, and I never dropped the gloves after that.
How soon after you started boxing did you think, you know what, this could be a career for me?
Exceptionally fast. Maybe 6 months, 7 months
Wow.
into me ever boxing, I won the Silver Gloves, which is a national amateur tournament. And for me, I knew I had some talent because it was a national tournament, and people knew that I only had about maybe 5 to 10 fights and won that championship. They said, "Man, you're gonna take this a long way." So I kept that in the back of my mind, pushing myself.
Cancer is obviously a life-changing thing. How did it change you mentally?
I mean, it just makes you appreciate life more. It makes you appreciate the little things more. But as far as my career is concerned and boxing is concerned, I just think it pushed me and makes me more focused. There's a point where I didn't have none of this, or all of this was jeopardized. All I wanted to do was the things that I slack on, which is getting up by myself and running in the morning. So all of those things have changed now. My mentality has changed, and no one has to get me up. If anything, I'm the first one up.
You talked about yesterday, you mentioned everything coming together and you being back in Brownsville with people who are influential in your life. Talk about that moment for you.
It was incredible, and you guys will see it soon. It's on. It's a recorded piece that we're going to actually put together, but it was weird how it all kind of transpired because literally everybody who had a place in that particular time when I started boxing, was there with me yesterday, a part of this journey. So to me, it almost seems as if it's meant to be. It's setting itself up in my favor, and I just think that if I can train hard, give myself a really, really good shot, hard work, dedication, and don't leave anything worth debate, I think I'm in good hands.
How did Brownsville, Brooklyn influence who you are today?
It just makes, I mean, you appreciate the grit of Brownsville. You appreciate the culture of Brownsville. It changes you. It allows you to appreciate any form of success. Coming from a tough neighborhood like that, where you didn't have much, you just appreciated the things that you did have. So now I'm at this place where, I'm living my dreams. I'm a world champion, and I'm playing for the biggest title in boxing. I mean, not only am I proud to be from Brownsville because of who it turned me out to be, but I'm also proud because of the culture and the boxing history in Brownsville, things of that nature. So me coming from where I come from is a big part of my life.
What are you? You have a quiet, confident swagger about you. Where does that come from? How long have you had that?
I think it's always just kind of been me. I've never been one who liked to boast and brag and be the guy who likes the limelight or who wants all the attention, be the center of attention. Like, that's really not my style. I'm super under the radar. Obviously, my job is to be a public figure, so I do my job. But as far as personality-wise, I'm just a very humble dude, and I think it shows with everything that I do.
Are there people who work with you business-wise who want to change that? Who want to almost create a WWE-like character for you?
Right. I think it's for me. I mean, I understand, certain things sell in boxing, but I can't go against, as a man, I can't go against what my genuine personality is. I can't go against my grain and understanding what I represent and the people that look up to me. I cannot disrespect those people for the sake of having a better or more successful career.
To that point, there's a notion, and I certainly believe that African American boxers have to act a certain way to be successful. Do you feel that it is that way in the industry, and how have you been able to buck that trend?
Oh, for me, just keeping in mind that if you stay true to who you are, that in the end, people will appreciate that. It's really not my mindset to say that if you continue this up, people will gravitate and they'll catch on and you'll be this mega superstar. I'm just staying loyal to who I am. And if people gravitate towards that, me knowing it's a positive thing, then I'm all good. But I'm not gonna embrace any negativity, nor am I gonna try to be something that I'm not to gain more success. So if people are gonna rock with me and be Team Jacobs, or support me for who I am, then that's real love, because I would rather me be true to who I am through and through my whole life and my whole career, opposed to being a different person and having to explain to my children a certain period of my life I wasn't real, and I wasn't genuine, and I spread lies, and that's not who I am.
How has this business relationship between you and Eddie Hearn been so
It's
far?
been incredible. It's everything that I can dream of. At this point in my career, I've received so much attention to put my self in another plateau, and having this opportunity present itself. Eddie and Keith Connolly are the reasons behind this, in the zone, obviously.
And clear this up. I'm actually going to speak to Oscar later today. There's a little confusion about that hydration clause. Can you clear that up for us?
Well, I seen an interview yesterday where Canelo said that he didn't have anything to do with the hydration clause. But as we know, the IBF rules out the next day weigh-in. So I heard someone say it's up to the discretion of the fighters. We put in the contracts, we didn't want the second day weigh-in. It doesn't matter. We're fighting for all the titles. We don't really need to put that stipulation in there. So obviously his representatives, maybe not him per se, I can't put it on him per se, but maybe his representatives thought it would be a good idea so that he can have somewhat of a, I won't say advantage, but just maybe even grounds when it comes to weight.
Is there a rematch clause in the contract?
I'm not quite sure exactly what the rematch clause is. I can't really give too much detail with that, but as far as like me wanting to fight him again if I was to when I get the victory, obviously that's a no-brainer. So right now my focus is to make sure that I win and put myself in the best possible position.
What are some of your interests outside of boxing?
Just continue to inspire as many people as I can, whether it's that's continuing my foundation, the Get in the Ring Foundation, where we help children with cancer and obesity and things of that nature, or making movies, or becoming some form of, not an entertainer, but a figure where I can inspire people through my story.
Tell us a little bit more about your foundation. What inspired you to create it?
I've always been a helping guy. I've always been that person that wanted to do something positive in my community. But once I caught cancer and seeing the hardship that it brings physically, mentally, financially, spiritually, all of the things, that I wanted to put myself in a position to help victims. Because me knowing it firsthand, I wanted to make sure that we hit that per se. And we've been doing this since 2012, and it's been going fantastic. But if people want to support, just to see what we got going on, or to refer people to what we got going on, you can check out our website at getinthering.org.
What does being a champion teach you?
Well, when I think of champion, I think of Muhammad Ali and the things that he preached, which was become the people's champion and stand for something. And pretty much your life, if you have an opportunity to affect others, then your life is meaningful. So use something with that platform that you have to do something positive. And me being a survivor, me coming from Brooklyn, having a hardship, all of these different things, people could relate to that. Mm-hmm. So for me to inspire the people who connect with me and my issues is perfect.
To that note, what does losing teach you?
Losing teaches you how to be more gracious and more humble. Losing teaches you how to appreciate the process. Losing teaches you how to appreciate the spotlight and appreciate that circle of just winning, right? Because certain people, when they lose, you can see people aren't really the same because it's a mental thing. So for me, when I first lost, I had to go through a series of understanding, and that's, an internal thing, and just from everybody else who was really there for me and who wasn't. So you get to learn a lot about yourself through losses, not just inside the ring, but outside the ring as well. It's just a humbling experience.
Your great friend, Jarrell Miller, is going to be taking on which is gives you a little split alliance. Taking on Anthony Joshua. I'm sure you'll be ringside for that fight. What does that journey mean to be able to share that with Big Baby, two cats from Brooklyn, now fighting on the biggest stage?
So I'm fighting Canelo Alvarez, biggest star in boxing, and he's fighting Anthony Joshua, potentially the second biggest star in boxing. We're both Brooklyn guys. You know, we both come from some hardships. We both have very similar stories. So, in that regards, I mean, I would be rooting for him all the way. He's a great dude. I know a lot of people see his personality and what he shows and things of that nature, but you know, everybody's not going to be this picture perfect image that everybody wants. But he's real, and I respect that. But at the same time, you know, just knowing him on a hands-on level, I'll be rooting for him. But I'm a huge Anthony Joshua fan, both inside the ring and outside, most importantly. So he's a really, really great ambassador for the sport. I truly admire him. So for me, I won't say may the best one win, because obviously I'm rooting for a Big Baby, but I just wanted to be a really good fight. You know, one that at least could happen again. And then both guys really, really are well, Anthony's already set for life, but you know, just make some type of history and move on to the sunset.
Put your promoter hat on. If you had the ability, and obviously you have some influence working with one of the most powerful promoters in the sport, but what are some fights that you would love to see? Like, man, if this were to happen, I have to be ringside to watch it.
I mean, the only fights for me, the top 3 fights for me that I see that I would love to be ringside for, I would probably say Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, and Lomachenko and Gervonta Davis. Those are probably the top 3 fights that I would like really want to go see personally, hands on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you see the business of boxing headed in the next year or two?
I think, you know, it's a great time to be a boxer. It's a great time to be in this realm because, you know, throughout the course and history of boxing, fighters have always made less pay and put more work in. So now boxers are really being compensated for their work, and it's at an all-time high. And with this DAZN platform, I mean, it's going to reach millions of people. It's at the access of your cell phone right now. So I mean, it doesn't get any better than this for me. And me being the new wave, me being a part of the new wave of boxing, it's like so humbling. And I just want to make sure I do right by it and set an example for the next generation coming up, so that I can nurture it and continue that same type of, you know, that same type of business energy and, you know, being successful in the sport in general.
You mentioned Muhammad Ali earlier. Who are others, boxers inside the ring, outside the ring, people who inspire you?
You know, people who truly inspire me, that I can think off the top of my head, you know, guys like Tim Brown of the Oakland Raiders, Hall of Famer, guys like Andre Ward, Sugar Ray Leonard, you know, Anthony Joshua, guys who have soft hearts but and represent themselves, their community, in such a positive way where it's just almost undeniable just to not, you know, be fans of them. So knowing that these guys are fighters, and in a sport where people categorize all of us as just wild circus animals, you know, we bring some type of respect to the sport and honor to the sport.
You mentioned that you're going to have almost 2 separate camps, one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast. Why did you choose to do it that way?
Because I've been abandoning my East Coast team for a while as far as my strength and conditioning training, and I wanted to give a shot to really work with my East Coast team. Scooter Honig back at CEO in Long Island, CEA, Competitive Edge Athletics. They are they are the top people on the East Coast. So for me, I wanted to spend more time with them, and then they got a whole bunch of new equipment and stuff that I'm really excited about. So I'm going to go through that phase, and then I want to be as acclimated as possible to the West Coast. So that's why we're going to finish our remaining camp on the West Coast.
All right. Best of luck in the fight,
Thank you
Dana.
very much.